JimJones plants both elbows on Shannon Sharpe's nightcap desk and drops the kind of quote that makes veteran radio hosts check their Wi-Fi to be sure they heard it right.
I'm in the game still rapping at a high capacity. If Nas wants to smoke, come in the booth. I will rap circles around.
He don't want no smoke. He enjoying that 150 million, 200 million.
Okay then, so then leave me alone while I'm on the field.
You was effing with him. He wasn't bothering you.
Don't really know who Nas is. If he's 22, he's born in 03.
Not all of them, some of them though.
JimJones was never better than Nas. JimJones will never be better than Nas. And this is coming from somebody that's not a Nas fan. I love Dipset. I love the Diplomats. I love Bird Gang. But we not about to start rewriting history because JimJones got confidence. Listen.
The clip hits TikTok before the ice in Shannon's bourbon finishes its first crack. But Queensbridge legend Nas, nothing. He's busy enjoying a VC portfolio rumored to be north of $200 million and a string of Madison Square sellouts that prove legacy can outstream algorithms whenever it chooses. Across town, 50 Cent sees the comment, grins, and scrolls deep into the bottomless petty vault he calls an Instagram archive. He reposts a single image, a photocopied federal transcript stamped Individual 1, the Tekashi 69 wiretap, the one prosecutors played in court while identifying an unnamed voice ordering 9 Trey Bloods to super violate their rainbow-haired ex-mascot. 50 adds no caption, no tag, not even a hashtag. The internet does the rest. Within minutes, Individual 1 is trending harder than Dogecoin at its Elon peak, and Jim finds himself forced to defend a 5-year-old rumor instead of a 5-second hot take. And every podcast in America begins asking whether raw streaming numbers can really outshine 3 decades of airtight albums. Fat Joe deserves an honorary producer credit for kicking the first domino. On his show with Jadakiss, he waves a viral TikTok where a 19-year-old fashion influencer insists she learned to match BB Simon belts and Amiri jeans from Jim, not from Nas. Joe smiles the smile of a man who has hosted more rap feuds than he can list, then tosses the grenade.
I recently saw on Instagram a young kid was comparing you to Nas and saying that you got
Yeah, that's my young boy.
big hits.
He's wild.
Yo, he looked to you. He learned how to wear the BB Simon belt from you. He got his swag. Like, how crazy is that? Because in my era, you know what I'm saying? Nas is like a god.
In my era too.
Jim answers without blinking.
I admired Nas. But remember, Nas' first record, The Barbecue, came out when I was in 11th grade.
Yes.
So Nas was my idol when I was young. Like you did, came to dressing, the wordplay, the music, everything. I was a superior Nas fan. Period. I'd never take that away from him. But then as I got in the game, you got to realize that your rivals would be idols, and not to take anything away from that. I developed my own style and my own lane that these kids start to gravitate towards the same way I gravitated towards Nas when I was younger and things like that. It's a whole different generation.
Overnight, Google Trends shows Nas versus JimJones relevant, spiking 900%. But Jones isn't done. Later that week, he hops onto Shannon Sharpe's brand new Nightcap livestream with Chad Okocinco and doubles down. Shannon, sipping bourbon, goes full linebacker.
I'm in the game still rapping at a high capacity. If Nas wants to smoke, come in the booth. I will rap circles around.
He don't want no smoke. He enjoying that 150 million, 200 million.
Okay then, so then leave me alone while I'm on the field.
You was effing with him. He wasn't bothering you.
The conversation spirals from rap resumes to bench press numbers. Jim challenges Sharpe to a workout war, brags he'll run Saturn around Nas lyrically, and implies anyone clinging to 90s metrics is just old and bitter. Viewers can't decide whether they're watching an episode of Drink Champs or a CrossFit infomercial. Meanwhile, Nas keeps meditating, and 50 keeps screenshotting, silently stockpiling receipts like a doomsday prepper, buying canned goods. To understand why Jim's claim hits a nerve, you have to rewind to Hot 97 Summer Jam, June 2002. Nas, mid-soundcheck, calls Cam'ron's freshly released album, Come Home With Me, trash for the barbershop. Dipset treats the slight like a drive-by. Nas barely looks up from rolling another backwoods. In a 2005 backstage interview that has since been clipped and memed, a reporter asks whether he'll respond to JimJones.
When it got, honestly, I can't, if it was like JimJones, imagine putting a pen to paper to write about him. He was so nice about him. How did you do that? What's the first sentence? What the fuck do you write about him? I'm not anxious to hear the JimJones diss record. I'm like, yo. The niggas that used to have a nigga a little nervous was like B.I.G., Pop. Right. Even Cannabis, like Eminem. The niggas used to have you like, if we go at it, dog, we gotta go hard. You know what I'm saying? But these niggas like a JimJones, like I mean, I respect you getting your money. You're like exactly.
But MC-wise, you're not respecting his lyrical game right now.
I respect his hustle. I respect his hustle. That's about it.
Crowd laughs. Jim fumes. That dismissive laugh resurfaces every time a blogger drags out the footage. It represents the respect gap Jim can't quite close, no matter how many certified street anthems Dipset stacked in the mid-2000s. So when he now claims the youth recognize him over Nas, older fans remember the Koofy comment, and younger fans Google Koofy, while 50 Cent quietly sharpens old daggers. 14 years after the Hot 97 dust-up, Tekashi 69 helps the feds dismantle the 9 Trey Bloods. Prosecutors play a recorded phone call. An unidentified Harlem voice instructs homies to super violate Tekashi for disloyalty. Court documents label the speaker Individual 1. Social media needs 14 seconds to conclude the voice belongs to Jim. The rapper denies, lawyers scoff, and no charges stick. But the nickname Individual 1 never dies. 50 Cent, who mentors Tekashi for 5 chaotic months, jokes that he's hiding in Texas because Jimmy is gang gang. He deletes the video within hours, but Shade Room screenshots immortalize it. So when Jim boasts about outrunning Nas, 50 scrolls back to that 2018 screen grab. Nightcap was barely 2 months old when Sharpe landed the soundbite of the quarter. The ex-NFL tight end knows a viral route when he sees one. He leans into the camera and tells Jim, "You talking relevancy? Nas just sold out Madison Square Garden at 50 years old. You sure you want that smoke?" Jim pivots to cardio. "Meet me in the gym. I'll burn you in circuits and bars." Under the comical banter sits a sharper truth. Cultural respect isn't awarded on kettlebell reps, and no amount of pre-workout can erase the 14-track masterpiece Nas dropped at age 20. Jim's making noise. Nas's catalog makes history. 50 Cent never wastes controversy. Behind the scenes, he's 2 moves ahead. Young Miami, currently Diddy's ex-muse, was cast on 50's Stars show, BMF, the moment rumors linked her romantically to the bad boy mogul. That's 50 using Hollywood payroll as trolling collateral. Dropping the Individual 1 screenshot is the same strategy. Minimal effort, maximum ripple. Industry insiders whisper he's sitting on the full 9-tray wiretap audio. He could leak it unedited the week his Power spin-off premieres, doubling viewership while turning Jim's bravado into federal exhibit B-side. 50's track record supports the theory. Remember how he torpedoed Mayweather with that reading challenge, or how he sold more water bottles by mocking Ja Rule's concert ticket sales. He doesn't just win beefs, he monetizes them. Jim must decide, does he escalate with a diss track, risking 50 going nuclear, or retreat and let TikTok move on? Pride rarely retreats, especially when brand new podcasts wave checks for spicy sound bites. JimJones wanted to prove relevance. He succeeded, but not the way he pictured. In trying to elevate his name above Nas's, he reminded 2 generations why Nas doesn't have to say a syllable to dominate any conversation about influence. The Queensbridge legend's silence is more instructive than 1,000 punchlines. Trophies, longevity, and sold-out arenas speak in frequencies no podcast can drown. 50 Cent, working entirely from the shadows, illustrated a parallel lesson. A single screenshot, devoid of commentary, stripped of context, can eclipse hours of chest-puffing monologue. In an era where everyone owns a mic and a feed, real power belongs to the archivists, the people who bank receipts and drop them only when silence no longer serves their strategy. Even if Jim crafts the diss of his life, even if it racks up reaction videos for a month, the conversation will keep curving back to a Queens poet who never bothered to reply, and a Queens troll who's willing to detonate an 8-year-old tape just to remind the industry why some doors never swing open without a price. So we end where we began. A single boast on a podcast, an old wiretap resurrected, and the eternal debate about whether streaming spikes equal cultural weight. In this story, silence isn't weakness, it's currency. Legacy isn't nostalgia, it's leverage. And the next notification buzzing across your screen might be a calm Nas verse, a leaked audio file that melts YouTube's servers, or simply another example of how quickly the internet moves on when volume can't convert to value. One thing is certain, in 2025, every hot take lives forever. Every receipt has a timer. And every rapper who tries to outrun a legend should remember that the quietest kings always bring the loudest echoes.